Welcome to the webinar training series for the Equals Mathematics curriculum. In this webinar, participants will be provided with information regarding lesson prep. If you have any questions regarding Equals Math, you can contact the curriculum team by email at curriculum@ablenetinc.com. Please feel free to contact us for additional support or follow-up questions. Remember that implementing the Equals curriculum will take time. Let's get started. Let's take a look inside the Lesson Prep and Material Sets folder. In this folder, you will find a folder for each chapter, 3 folders that begin with the word all, as well as number notes pages and I Learned work mats at all 3 levels. Since the number notes and I Learned work mats are used in every lesson, we have made these easily accessible within this folder. Let's look at one of the chapter folders, since this is where you will now find all lesson prep materials specific to that chapter. Inside the chapter folders, you will find one folder for each section of lessons, a follow-up folder which contains all of the page 4 lesson follow-up materials, and a lesson tests folder that contains all of the lesson tests for the chapter. Inside a specific sections folder, you will find everything needed for the lesson. The materials list by section, 3 levels of worksheets, pick symbols, game boards, work mats, and student tools are now conveniently located in one place. Let's look at what needs to be done to prep for a lesson. I will begin by looking at the materials list by section. As a reminder, there are instructions at the bottom of this document to assist you in this process. Step 1. All items in gray are to be filed in file folders. Looking at the gray boxes, I see these show worksheets, lesson pick symbols, work mat copies, and game boards. Notice there are no student tools needed for this section of lessons. Looking back at our new organized folder, I see the worksheets, lesson pick symbols, work mat copies, and game boards located here. If student tools were needed in this section, they would also be found in this folder. Looking back at our materials list, vocabulary cards are also in a gray box. You should pull and file these as part of your lesson prep process. You will also want to rearrange the posters and work mats in your curricular kit box, so the ones you will need during instruction are at the front of your stack. Looking back at our steps, you will notice that if we had printed and filed those materials, we would already be on step 4, locate prior to lesson, classroom materials. Classroom materials are intended to be just that. If you do not have something, consider making a thoughtful substitution. If you have paper cups and the lesson calls for plastic cups, that would be an acceptable substitution. These materials are intended to show students that math is all around them, even in their day-to-day classroom materials. Once you've gathered all of the classroom materials needed, it would be helpful to put them into a box or a bin to keep them organized. By printing and organizing these materials, filing the vocabulary cards, organizing the posters and work mats, and gathering classroom materials, you now have everything you need in one organized location. Consider pulling manipulatives, posters, and other cards when needed during the day's lesson activities you are teaching, rather than piling them all on the table ahead of time. Use the materials, then post them in your math focal point or return them to your shelves. If you can teach students to retrieve and/or replace materials during the lesson, you are providing a useful experience in organization for your students. If you decide to put the materials away yourself after using them, your students see your model of using an organizational system, plus it gives them a mini break between activities. All game boards contains all of the game boards in one location. All print MO from materials list contains all of the printable student materials, and the All Replacements Extras folder contains an alternate lesson for 10E9, replacement cards and posters, a student-sized solve poster, student tools, and work mats. Use these 3 all folders when you want to print a specific material. As we conclude this webinar, I would like to thank you for your time today. The Equals Math curriculum provides consistency and support as students are introduced to new math skills. If you have any questions or would like to request a live training for the Equals Math curriculum, please contact a curriculum team representative at curriculum@ablenetinc.com. We look forward to hearing from you.